And it's the screen with the board alderpersons agenda. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, I would like to call this meeting, the Board of Alderpersons for the City of Burns Mill on May 18th, 2022 to order. First order of business would be the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everybody would please follow me in the pledge. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the republic for which it
republic
stands,
for which it stands, one
nation under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty
and
and
justice
justice for all.
Thank you very much. Right, moving on to item B here, roll call. So we'll start out. Glenn LaVenture.
Here.
Mary Shebley,
Here.
Bob Prado,
Here.
Cindy Davies.
Here,
I don't see Galen or Robin.
Galen is excused. Ashley, did you hear from Robin?
I haven't. I remember last meeting, she's coming from St. Charles, so
I
I know
did.
she was a little late.
I talked to
I
her
don't know if
husband
that's the
today
case.
and they had a family event tonight they were attending. I think she was going to try and call somebody, but she might not have been able to get through.
Okay,
So I'm almost certain she's not going to be in attendance.
okay, well, we still have a quorum here, so.
And Allison had an emergency. She may or may not be on the meeting.
Okay, all right, well, great. Well, very good. Moving on to item 2, amending and approving the agenda. Is there anything we need to amend, or can we approve the agenda as submitted?
You can approve as submitted.
Roll call or motion, please.
I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
second,
Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and Cindy.
aye,
All right, item 3, amending and approving the minutes from the May 4th, 2022 Board of Alderpersons meeting.
They look fine to me. If anybody's got any objections or corrections, go ahead. Otherwise, I make a motion to approve them.
I second,
Okay, Mary,
Aye.
Glenn,
Abstain.
Bob,
Aye.
Cindy,
aye,
and I see we have an iPhone joiner. And the joiner is muted. It's not you, Bob.
Is that you, Mary?
It's Elijah Huddleston.
Oh, hi, Elijah. Okay. All right. Okay, then moving on to item 4, city warrants and financials. Reviewing the warrant list from May 18th, 2022. Let me scroll down to that and bring that up for everybody's review. We're looking at a total of $12,336.28.
A couple things that stood out to me was the Wang, W-A-N-G cost for psychiatric.
yeah, yeah.
Is that exceptionally high or?
So those are our pre-employment.
Well, how many people did that involve?
Frank, can you answer that?
Yeah, that's at least 2, maybe 3.
Oh,
These were a little higher than normal, than the normal charges. And I can explain that later if need be, but the charges vary on certain things. He's got a schedule of different tests that he does, and I get to pick and choose. So I move around, kind of change things up a little bit here and there.
okay, so that's 3 people.
Can you show me where that's at? What's the amount? I'm trying to look through the screen. right now.
$890. Are you able to see the screen? Did my shirt go
Yeah,
away?
I print it out, Rob, and I go through it. Okay. Yeah, that's, I'm almost certain that's 3 people. I'll check my records and let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Aye.
So are these ongoing evals for existing employees or for new?
Say again? No, these are for
New hires.
well, one is for a new hire. So last year, the psychologist that I was using retired. And it took me a long time to find another one that I could use. And Allison was able to recommend one for me. And I went through a bit of a process before I hired him. And then the officers that I had not gotten tested yet. And I had them tested. And this actually could be 3. I'm gonna have to check my records. I apologize.
I'm pretty sure it was 3,
No,
chief, but
I-
yeah, we
yeah.
can check.
I
and
had
report
I had a
next meeting.
backlog because it took me almost a year to get a new person on board
Wow.
to do this.
Yeah, I know that psychologists and psychiatrists are backlogged.
They're
Okay.
very difficult to find, and it's even more difficult to find one that does first responders.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, I think it's important too to vet out the applicants that you have, Frank. So it's a good idea to do this, and it's a good spend. So
Is the sewer flush, is that on our lines? Or, because we don't have a sewer anymore.
That was at City Hall.
Oh, okay.
We found a T-shirt. So when the police was flushing their toilets, it was backflowing, and we had to have the plumbing company come in, and they found a T-shirt stuck down in the pipes.
From the
Frank,
front
are you-
bathrooms?
Yeah. Are you making our citizens unhappy or what?
probably from court time, so it's probably
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah.
okay.
So
It was probably those people from last night. Got
maybe we
mad.
should have a sign that says, "Please don't flush T-shirts down the toilet."
Yeah.
No, they'll figure out something else to flush. That's
There you go.
okay.
Got blue jeans next. so.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve city warrants in the amount of $12,336.28.
Sergeant?
Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Bob,
Aye.
and Cindy.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item 5 here, recognitions and proclamations. I don't believe we have any.
We have none.
Okay, then move on to item 6 here, old business. We have item A, the City Hall phone system, sort of old and sort of new. So Deb, I'll turn it over to you to discuss that. And
Well, this has been discussed in previous meetings that the City Hall's phone system at some point needs to be replaced.
right.
And so Bob Prado got us quotes on what that might look like. Bob, if you want to,
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, the phone system that was put in was brand new when we put it in, but 2010,
10,
yeah.
11.
Whenever we built the city hall, it went in at the exact same time. The problem is the manufacturer for the phone system no longer exists, and the company, which was Nortel Networks, the company who bought it, Avaya, quit supporting it about 4 years ago, and you can't even do anything with this phone system, like put a new one in and move the licensing over and that kind of stuff at all. I was just doesn't exist. So we talked about just buying another phone system just like this, because we wanted to leverage the investment we have in the phones themselves. And I looked at that, and that was anywhere from more in the $1,500 range if we got the licenses we need. And then I looked at Avaya's solution for this. It's called a BCM, is Nortel Business Communications Manager is what it is, and looked at Avaya to see what they said as a replacement for the BCM, and that's called the Avaya IP Office. Well, I looked at that, and that was about $1,200 to $2,500 depending on the licensing, and that was used, not new. But the problem with that is Avaya is looking to do away with the IP office. So they actually put out a thing that said, well, we will confirm that we'll manage it for the next 3 years, and then it may go end of life. So there's a subset of engineers from Nortel who broke off of Nortel, and they made their own phone system that handles these phones. And that's where we see this in the UCX series of phone systems. And it's also actually called eMetrotel is the actual version or brand of phone system. And they actually support all these phones as well as all the Avaya phones and everything else. Well, the nice thing is we can do that. We are buying 8 more phones because we kind of have a hodgepodge of phones in our network. So, if you go from one phone to another, it's kind of hard to, okay, now how do I transfer this call, or how do I, just do stuff? Because I think we have 4 different versions of phones, and because that's, when it was donated, that's what was donated with it, because that's what was on hand at the time, right? But this includes 8 new phones and makes them all the same.
It's
So
good. It's from the button perspective too, where the layout of they are. And
yes, exactly right. Because some of the smaller form factor phones don't have all the buttons. So, well, okay, now how do I do voicemail pickup, and how do I do, so this fixes all of that. So anyway, that's the bid I got. The cool thing is you aren't incumbent upon me to fix everything. This will put you into some brand new gear, and of course it'll be an annual charge. But the thing is you can call them; they can walk you through stuff. There's a 9 to 5 phone support with 24-hour response time. They can actually send an engineer out if you need it. Of course, they've allowed, because of my technical expertise, they've allowed me to buy it and not charge installation, because the installation of the system was about another $2,000. So they waived that if I buy it, because of my certification and experience with the phone systems. I've actually played with it a little bit. It's really no different than the BCM, though it looks wildly different. The actual box that comes in and is housed with the cards is different, but that's it. Everything else pretty much stays the same. It's a little bit easier to manage, so whoever's managing the phone system will have a better time of it than what the BCM was. So but that's the only other option we had. We had those 3 options: buy used BCM and hope that one lasts, program it up, power it down, wait till this one dies, put that one in, right? or go to IP office, and I don't know in 4 or 5 years if it's going to hit the demise of the BCM, or go to something that's current and is currently maintained. And that's the last option. Frankly, it's the most expensive, but I think it's better for the city in the long run, because the other 2 options, you're looking at me, or I'd have to find somebody who takes care of the IP office. And right now there's only a few companies in town who do. So anyway, I think there's a good option, and it'd be my suggestion we move forward with it. So
with the IP office, would we have to have Cat5 wiring in place, or is that what we're running on right now?
That's what we're running on right now.
Okay, so it's all Cat5.
It's all Cat5. Yeah, every bit of it will. All of this will work on what we have.
Good. And
with the phones we have. And the only reason we bought 8 extra phones is to make them all the same.
Sure, make it consistent. That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's excellent. I like to see Bob not have to be the only worker bee on the phone system.
And what was the total cost on that the phone?
Okay, so ignore, if you're looking at the bid specifications, you can ignore the optional SIP trunks at the bottom.
Okay.
So the upfront cost, excluding taxes, and there's no shipping because I'll go pick it up, is $4,705.
Okay.
So I don't think we pay taxes, do we?
We do not.
Yeah. So it'll be that, and then annually it'll be $525.
Oh,
and that'll maintain your hardware, your software, everything for the eMetrotel, and give you resources that you can call and talk to if you can't find me.
That's very inexpensive. That's
And that's after the first year.
Yeah, that's after the first year. That's correct.
And how expandable is it too? Can we?
This actual system can, I think it can go up to 150
Wow.
telephones. And if you do SIP trunks, I think it can go up to 70 SIP trunks. We don't do that. The SIP trunks are session initiated protocol trunks. They run across the data network. We're not doing that. We use it.
You have separate PRIs and for your.
No, right now we just have the POTS lines
Okay.
for the 4 lines.
Oh, so you're populating POTS and then splits it out to wherever the call goes.
Yeah, so the call actually goes from Charter. Charter has a little
They have
POTS
little
converter.
analog box, yeah. I've seen
Yeah.
that.
So I mean, if we had like 6 phone lines, then I would talk to them about a PRI, which
Right.
in the end would be cheaper. But we've only got 4, so it doesn't really.
And
You're not going to save anything.
The challenge with that is we never know if there's really an issue with it unless you're trying to seize an outbound call and all the four lines are busy inbound and you don't get a dial tone. But I'm not aware of any issues where people say, oh, I can't call City Hall. So.
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing about SIP trunks is I'm sorry to go off into the weeds on this, but when you do SIP trunks, the problem with SIP trunks is they don't support faxing. And 2 of our lines are for the fax machines.
Yep.
So anyway, but SIP trunks, you only buy 1 trunk and however many calls come in, pretty much come in.
Yep.
So, but that's not this. We're not looking at that. And we're going to, trunk wise, we're going to stay the same way with Charter that we are now. And
yeah, it's important to keep the provider there. That way the lines that we have and the
exactly.
NX are the same, so we don't lose anything with there. I know Frank's following this completely, so.
So anyway, and just to let you know, there's not another provider in this area, actually this region, who provides this phone system. They have other providers around the country, but and these are the only guys doing this with our style phones. So
the other question though is how quickly can we get it? I know a lot of stuff is backlogged and no, we can't get this or that. Obviously, it's not a manufacturing thing here. It's probably already.
No, he's got it.
Okay, good.
I mean, he's a pretty big dealer, and he puts out. I mean, I think he mentioned his crews are doing like 10 a month, something like that.
Okay.
And that's kind of a big deal because I mean, you understand it takes a few days to put it in, then another few days to train. So when you're looking at something like that, you're looking at probably 2 or 3 teams working each week just on these to get them installed. So anyway.
Okay, great. Well, sounds like a good solution, Bob. Thanks for working through that.
No problem.
So can I get a motion on the City Hall phone system?
I'll make a motion to approve the convergent communications proposal for phone system for City Hall and to include the service support after 1 year.
I'll second.
Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Bye.
Bob,
Aye.
and Cindy.
Aye.
All right.
And I believe the funding for this is coming not out of our normal budget, but
this can come from the ARPA funding.
Okay. All right.
I think it's a great price. I paid that much for 20 instruments before.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not that I work for these guys. I've known these guys ever since I moved to Missouri, and they gave us a heck of a deal.
Yeah,
I'll just tell
I
you.
agree. That is a heck
Yeah.
of a deal.
So I'll put this on the next agenda as a resolution.
Okay. Very good. Then under old business item B, we have the HVAC system warranty and maintenance agreement.
So I talked to Nick with Premier Cooling. We have the proposal in your packet for the warranties and for the maintenance agreement. So on page 3, you have alternate per unit $1,900. So there's 2 units to that. So that would be times 2. And then, and those units are the boardroom and city hall side. Then alternate 2, and so these warranties can be all or one or the other. Alternate 2 is the, Bob, help me with that. What is alternate 2?
Alt 2 is the police side.
The PD side, okay. So if we wanted to do warranty on all 3, it would be $6,600. That's a one-time fee. And then the maintenance agreement, and it spells out in the proposal what the maintenance would include. And that would include all 3 units. 2 times per year, they would come out and perform all the maintenance. And checks for $1,100. So total cost first year, if you decide to do the warranties plus the maintenance agreement, would be $7,700, and then $1,100 each year thereafter for the maintenance only.
Now, these would kick in after the original manufacturer's warranty, which is what I believe 1 year, or was it 3?
I don't recall. Do you, Bob?
I thought it was 3 years.
3 on compressors on both units, or all 3 units?
All 3 units.
So do you feel that this would come in after the 3 years than this, or does this extend the existing warranty out to 10? That's probably what it does.
Yeah, it extends it out to 10.
I'm a little, I don't know, I'm not a big extended warranty guy, but I know that some of these costs, one of these units is a little more sophisticated, the police side's a little more sophisticated than the boardroom and the admin side. As far as the controls and the boards and everything in it, because I believe the other one is pretty much just straightforward split systems. I would definitely recommend the maintenance agreement. I think that's a bargain price.
You
So
know,
I'd like everybody else's thoughts on the extended.
if you look at what we were coming from, the Daikin units that we had there, they ran fine for 3, 4, 5 years, and they started giving us trouble after that, which is why we're in the predicament we are now. We've had to pull this system out and put something new in. So I really feel, I agree with you, Glenn. I'm not really a big fan of extended warranties and that, but something like this, it doesn't take much to chew up a couple grand in cost.
Well, with these systems being so much simpler than the previous system was, and it's not as proprietary.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, you can now take this thing and go out to bid with any heating and cooling company for a repair or a compressor replacement.
Well, hopefully we won't have to. You know?
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking at my split unit here. I've been in this house for 22 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had a major repair on those components. I would almost think if we took that money and put it into a HVAC fund, you know, you never know. Compressor could last forever, or it could die in 5 years.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see that this system, the individual systems are going to run much less. When we had a system that was running all the time, 24/7, now we're going to have systems that can actually relax in the night.
Right. Yeah.
Over the weekends, they're not going to be pumping hard. all
So,
day.
so our monthly recurring cost for just run and maintain will be less than.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think I can't wait to see the power savings.
Well, once again, I feel extended warranty. I agree. It's probably, might be a little bit overkill, but it just covers us, and then we can just, we've got this covered for 10 years.
Okay.
As well, but
I mean, it's not an outrageous price.
no, it isn't. No, we're probably,
And I think our overall savings on the entire, proposal that we've done here, we have the room.
yes.
Tell me again how much the extended warranty is gonna cost
$6,600.
and how that would stretch it out to 10 years.
Yes.
Yes.
That's
We were paying that
$660 for 3 units.
We were paying that 2 months for the electric bills. If you
You're
look
right.
at it that way.
I know, I'm just thinking, I'm kind of thinking like Glenn.
I mean, I don't want to go cheap, but after you amortize it out over 10 years, it's $660.
And we have time to answer them on this. We don't have to give them an answer right away.
Yeah, but
So
if we
you
slide
guys-
it off, we'll forget and it'll be gone. So I think we need to come to
Okay.
this decision here, either way,
Oh, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the extended warranties and service agreement with Premier.
I second it.
All right. Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Sandy,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye.
Very good.
So all in all, how is the system up and complete?
It is up. Bob, do you want to tell them what's left to be done?
They have one more thermostat to put in. They didn't finish it today. And then they just got to patch some areas. The biggest problem we found with the system is the wall in the back of the police department, the ductwork, was completely blown out. So that's one reason why the system was running non-stop.
Ugh.
So that ought to save us tremendously on utility bill.
And
then all
Bob,
we have to do-
they've replaced the ducts, right? So we don't have any of this old stuff that was blowing out, right?
We still got the majority of it is up in the ceiling.
Right.
The only spot we replaced was the back, and we put metal back in.
Okay.
And we're waiting on Spire. They come by today, but we haven't got a time when they're gonna hook the gas line and the meter to us. But it's all being piped, tapped off. We're waiting on them, but otherwise the system's been up.
Okay, did they inspect any of the old ducting that was left up there to just make sure that it was good and wouldn't break apart?
Yeah, he crawled all over up there and looked at it. Nothing looked like it was blown apart right now. What comes later possibly, but it all looked good right now. A majority of it was repaired back about 2 years ago.
Right, yeah, I remember we went through that.
So all in all, how was the experience with Premier?
Really good. They worked real good. They were really good guys to work with. Explain things and stuff like that.
Okay, Deb, they cleaned up after themselves?
Yep,
Oh, they
it's about
did.
9.
They worked very well and hard.
Well, good.
Good to hear. All right, let's move on to item 7, new business. We have item A up here, code enforcement vehicle quote.
So we discussed a couple meetings ago that Dave Taylor needed a new vehicle, as his is very old, has steering issues is the biggest problem, but other issues. And Bob and him got a quote for a new vehicle. That quote is in your packet. It was 24,000.
$490, I think.
Yes, 24,490.
So what is this vehicle? Is it a gently used vehicle? Is it a brand new vehicle?
Brand new.
And what is it?
It's a 22 Ford Escape
Okay,
and all-wheel drive.
okay.
Bob, you want to add anything to it?
Nope. That's about it. That's pretty much it.
Looks like a good car to you, Bob?
Yes. Yes,
How
they're used a lot around for vehicles like this, you know, for inspectors or people like that.
how available is it? Is it like any other car where we're gonna wait 6 to 8 months, or is there stock available somewhere?
They're telling me 4 to 6 weeks is what they're telling me.
Okay, well, that's good.
We got till May, what did we tell you, Debbie? May 25th, I think. And then we
Yes.
wouldn't be able to get it.
Okay. And what color is it?
Blue?
It could be, it's a white one right now, is what they're basing it off of.
Okay,
It's white,
I thought I saw blue.
Oxford white.
Yeah, Oxford white. Last line on the top of it. YZ paint color.
Well, that sounds fine. I think
And I-
getting a car anytime right now is a hassle, so.
yeah, and I think this would last too. This is a vehicle that should last for a while, because he's not gonna drive it like the police department do, you know.
Yeah.
They're harder on their vehicles just based on the jobs they have to perform. No, Frank, don't worry, it's okay. But, you know, Dave's not gonna be going from 0 to 90 in 3 seconds.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of this vehicle.
Second.
Glenn,
Yes,
Harry,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
All right, moving on to new business item B. We have the city road restriping bid proposal.
So Bob got a price on restriping of $24,000.
And Bob,
Um,
as you mentioned, this wouldn't occur till later in the fall, September, October timeframe, something like that.
They moved it up to mid-June is when they would be
Mid-June?
doing it. They're gonna be in
Okay.
the,
All right,
they wouldn't be back later like they were last year, they said.
that'd be better, yes, because I know we part of the I think the challenge was that it was cooler and it was some of the paint may have not adhered as well as we would have preferred or liked.
so this is basically upper and lower
It's the whole city, isn't it?
and Frank's. Do we
And
have
all-
issues? Do we have issues with the striping now?
You mean,
Getting a little
We just
warm,
had it done in October.
right? But
I mean, I was looking at this, I was actually paying attention, you know, the double yellows on, now I did not look at Frank's. But the double yellows down the middle and the white stripes on the side, they're still pretty bright. I didn't see any breaks in them. I don't know that we need it on all the roads. I have not looked at Frank's.
I think to qualify for using capital funding, we have to do all the roads. We can't just do a particular upper, lower Frank's designation.
Correct. It has to be the whole city.
Okay.
And the one thing I'll say about this, Glenn, is that you do this and this makes the city look better, I guess, from the perspective, but people notice that, you know, and I think we're trying to, I know we're trying to be frugal and careful with our spends and that, but people tend to appreciate this too, and seeing a nicely striped road helps.
When are we gonna chip and seal again?
I would hope
Roughly, possibly 2 more years, I would like to wait. The roads are in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah. Yeah, you did good work last year on the asphalting repair that I think Basic did.
Yeah, I think our driving surface looks good.
Right.
I don't have any problem with the stripes the way they look now. I know that when the paint goes down, they look nice and bright until they get driven on for a while. Debbie, you said that the last stripe job was done in
October
of
last year, 21.
So we're not even a year
right
in yet.
Well, Glenn, the problem was they did that in October. You know, it was late and we were lucky to get it in. But we needed to have it done because we had done road repairs, I believe, and there was gone. But
and we did a total stripe at that time.
We did.
Yes.
And we had that in the capital improvement budget that we provided to the county council. I did not put that in this year's. That's not to say they won't pay, but it was not in our budget this year.
So
can
what's
we
the
wait?
problem with waiting a year or whatever?
Well, the problem then with waiting a year, if we're gonna chip and seal in 2, so now we're striping in October, and now we're gonna stripe again this year. And then we're gonna go 2 years before we chip and seal and then stripe again.
I would hope we wouldn't have to stripe again till we chip and seal.
Right.
Well, if it's okay, so you're saying that the degradation is because we striped in late.
I think it got too late in the year, personally. I remember it was cold because I was calling Bob and Bob was like, "Kelly, you're calling me again?" About it.
Yeah.
It was
just cold and damp. That's the problem. I mean.
Yeah, they tried to pick the best day they could, but it just drug on too long. They let it go too far.
So you feel that the application that they did then was not good?
Is this the same company or is this a different company now?
Same company.
Same company?
Yeah.
So how's it gonna look in 2 years if we don't stripe?
It'll be well worn for sure in 2 years.
I just want to make sure we don't get into a situation where we're going to be striping now, striping again, and then chip and seal, and then stripe again.
Yeah. Oh, certainly.
So do we stretch this one out a little bit?
Well, Frank, you're the one that's out there on the roads every day, driving it and observing it. What's your opinion on it and view of the road conditions?
You mean as far as the striping or actual road condition itself?
Striping, well, all of it, all the above, and I think we agree the roads, at least we feel they're in pretty good shape.
Yeah, the roads are in fair shape. The striping is not bad. If you're going to resurface the roads in a few months,
No, that's not.
Say
We're talking resurfacing chip and seal occurring potentially in 2024, maybe 2023, but not this year. Definitely not. So you'd have a whole nother year, at least a year, maybe 2 years of wear and tear on the roads.
I think striping would be beneficial then, if you're that far out, personally.
Well, again, I just want to make sure that we're not doing 2 stripings and then a chip and seal and then another stripe on top of that. I'm just wondering if we can stretch this one out, get one more in prior to chip and seal.
Well, the hard thing to tell on chip and seal, we just have to see how the roads fare next winter. We may be chip and sealing in the next year. We just don't know, really.
Well, then if that's the case, then we'll let
I don't know.
striping hold out. And
I just don't know.
It's my opinion that the stripes on the road don't look bad.
I agree. I think we should exercise some
Okay.
patience with that.
If we could, unless we wanted to table it and take a look, because again, I've not looked at the entire city, and maybe there's areas on Frank's Road that are
What
more
I would be
warm.
against though, Glenn, is tabling it and then taking a look at this and then getting put at the end of the bus again to where you're having somebody paint the roads in October, November on a potentially sunny day that is 62 degrees and damp. You know, you just won't get a good application to do it. It needs to be when it's warm, and we should have potentially refused it last year, but we couldn't. We were sort of bound to
Right, right.
the weather the way it worked out, and we had to do it because we had done some resurfacing and some patching.
Well, it seems like we can wait a little bit on this. I think that,
Well, maybe we push it till next year, but
Yeah.
we make sure we're at the front of the line next year. So in May, June, July, you know, we're
Right.
striping the roads next year in 2023. And
I
not
agree with that.
waiting till October of 2023 to do it.
Right.
Right, that I can agree with. I mean, if we can break it, if we can hold it to one more striping before we have to do anything major,
Mhm.
just so we're not paying all this money in striping.
Yep.
Unless somebody tells me that there's parts on the highway that you just can't see the lines on the side of the road. And I've not seen that yet.
Right.
And without doing any road repairs, we should, what we see today should be there tomorrow, you know.
Right.
How are our crosswalk areas too, specifically down by the park? Does that look okay? And I know you repainted the
We're
stop.
We're gonna be doing that. We ran out of paint last year and couldn't get it, so I bought a couple things of paint as they become available.
Okay. That would probably be good to do that because that's public safety area
Yeah,
there.
and those were definitely faded.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so can I get a motion then on the city restriping bid proposal?
I'll make a motion, we delay striping this year.
Second,
Second.
Mary,
Aye.
Glenn,
yes,
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
All right, moving on to item 8, legislation unfinished. I don't believe we have anything there. Moving
We
on
do
to
not.
item 9 here, legislation new. We have 4 resolutions up here. Starting out, item A, we have resolution number 579-22.
I'll make a motion to read resolution number 579-22.
Second.
Mary,
Aye.
Glenn,
Yes.
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Resolution number 579-22, a resolution of the city of Burnsville, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into and execute an agreement with Convergent Communications for the purpose of municipal complex phone system replacement. I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 579-22.
Second.
Mary,
Aye.
Glenn,
Yes.
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to item B, resolution number 580-22.
I'll make a motion to read resolution 580-22.
Second.
Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Resolution of the city of Burnsville, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into and execute agreement with Flock Safety for the purpose of lease purchase of Flock Safety camera system. Do we want to discuss that?
And once again, Frank, how many cameras is this identified here?
Aye.
There's 4 cameras.
4 cameras.
Cameras to be located at lower and 30, upper and 30. And where
Franks and Gravois
the gravel?
and Burns Mill Road and PP just at our city limit, wherever they can get the best amount of sun at right there. There's a lot of trees there.
Right.
And again, this is coming out of our, what money?
This is coming out of the ARPA funds.
And the total and the ongoing?
I budgeted it out for 5 years, Glenn.
Okay,
So I put a kind of a quick chart in the back. So 4 cameras are $2,500 a year, it's $10,000 a year. 5 years, $50,000. There's a one-time fee, which includes the installation of $1,400 total for the 4 cameras. My Regis hookup for the crime computers is $250 total. So the proposed expenditure for 5 years, $51,650.
So this is,
It's different than the cameras we were looking at a couple months ago.
Yeah, sounds substantially more economical. This is the system that other cities within Jefferson counties are utilizing. Is that correct?
Yeah, almost all the cities, including Eureka, which is now partly in Jefferson County, is using several of them.
Okay.
I think Arnold is going to go to them. Peevely is purchasing 4 of them right now. The sheriff's department uses a couple of them. We just used one of the sheriff's cameras down in House Springs to solve a felony flourishing that we had a few weeks ago.
So these cameras are already in place. So if anybody's interested in seeing them, you could go to 30 and M and W and see one.
Right.
They're not huge cameras by any
Well,
means.
they're small cameras. They're mounted on an individual pole. They're different than what we were looking at before. We were going to use actual UE utility poles and have power run to them. These will be run off solar. As I was finishing up with the last bid, a lot of other charges started coming in, and economically it was getting very expensive. For 3 cameras, it was going to be close to $70,000. And I just didn't think that, I think that was taking us out of the realm of possibility. And with 4 cameras, I can cover easily 90% of the residential areas in the city. And my hopes are that you'll see the value in these and maybe add a few more as time goes on. And I'm also hoping that some of the subdivisions see the value in these, and $2,500 a year may be a good investment for subdivisions for 1 camera. You know, we're fortunate most of our subdivisions only have one, larger subdivisions only have 1 entrance, except for Old Mill has 2.
So the yearly cost for this is going to be 2,500, you're saying?
Per camera per year.
Okay, well, about 10,000 a year.
There is also a list attached that the sheriff's department provided me with success stories that they've had.
Yeah, I read
last year
those.
with their flock cameras.
That was an interesting list. Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 580-22.
Second.
Glenn,
yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
and Bob.
Aye.
All right, very good. Moving on to item C, resolution number 581-22.
I'll make a motion to read resolution number 581-22.
Second.
Glenn,
Yes.
Mary,
Aye.
Cindy,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution number 581-22, a resolution of the city of Burns Mill, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to enter into and execute an agreement with Total Tinting for the purpose of municipal complex window tinting.
And will this also do the westward facing windows on both sides, administration and the police department side?
Yes, and that bid was $500.
Okay, so total of like 2,100, something like that, maybe. I don't recall the first.
Total of
About 1,300, right?
8 and 8 is
2,100.
16.
21.
21.
Yeah, 16 was for the vest.
2,100.
Oh, that's right.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, and then the additional.
Do we know what the efficiency rating is on the film that they're proposing, Bob?
No, Debbie had the examples. There was 3 levels in there.
I'll tell you.
One thing. Pick how dark you wanted it.
So we kind of looked at them and Chief looked as well. Says shields 99% of UV radiation. What was your question, Glenn?
Just if they gave us an efficiency rating, how much, solar reflection it's going to get from it. But if you're telling me we're at 99%,
UV ray protection.
I think we were looking at saving money on our energy bills, right?
Yeah, and it's,
I think it's
It says 99%.
okay. I was the one that recommended it. I think it's a good idea. I think it's going to help us overall and keeping that front vestibule and lobby comfortable.
yeah, anything you can do to keep the sun from coming in there a little bit will help. We've experienced when we had board meetings there in the summertime, it was
Having to close the doors and
exactly, yeah. So hopefully that'll cut down on some of that.
Well, I'll call for a motion to approve resolution.
I'll second.
581-2.
Mary?
Aye.
Glenn?
Yes.
Cindy?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Okay, last item D here, resolution number 582-22.
I'll make a motion to read resolution number 582-22.
Second.
Mary?
Aye.
Glenn?
Yes.
Cindy?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Resolution number 582-22, a resolution of the city of Burnsville, Missouri, authorizing a signature change on signature card and certificate of resolution of corporate board of directors, Enterprise Bank and Trust Company of Missouri.
So these new signature cards are to add Mary Holden onto them.
Okay. I call for a motion to approve resolution 581-22.
582-22.
582, yeah.
2-22, sorry.
Second.
Mary?
Aye.
Glenn?
Yes.
Cindy?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
All right, very good. Thank you. Moving on to item number 10, administrator's report. This is sort of a dual thing now. We'll start with Deb and
So our HVA system, we've already talked about that it's installed. That can be paid out of the ARPA funds as well. And if you would like to do that, then I can do a new spreadsheet, including the telephone and the HVAC system for our ARPA funds.
Now, can you do the warranties on ARPA, or is that going to have to be a separate line item? I would be careful with, I would look at that and just to make sure.
I'll check with our consultant. I think it can be used. It said that if anything that is normally allowed in our budget, we can use it.
Okay, I just didn't know if it had to be a fixed asset and if it could just be a contractual agreement like an extended warranty.
No. If we do use it though, out of the 611,596 that we will receive total, that would, minus the phones and the HVAC system, it'll be somewhere we'll have about 5,000 left. And we can decide that. We don't have to decide that. The next report isn't due until next April. So I'll redo the spreadsheet, show you what it would look like, and
Okay.
you can make the decision.
All right. Thank you. I think we need that.
Capital improvement for Franks Road will be on Mondays agenda for the county council to approve. And we're requesting $237,500. Mayor and I continue reviewing and speaking to applicants for the administrative assistant position. We've not found anyone yet.
Where will that applicant sit? Then out at the front area there by the window?
Yes.
Okay.
We need to have a budget workshop. We will need to introduce the proposed budget on the June 1st meeting, which is our next meeting, and to call for a public hearing to be held on June 15th. So Rob and I talked, and we were talking about next Wednesday, May 25th, and you said at 6 p.m., Rob?
Yes, I'm still sort of wavering on whether we need to do in person or maybe we can achieve it just via Zoom. Anybody on the board have opinions? We can certainly share screens and go through the budget just as easily as we can, throwing it up on the wall there at City Hall and talking through it.
I don't have a problem with that.
I'm good either way.
Okay, well, it might be easier if we just do it virtually. I know Mary is unable to attend physically, so maybe we just go virtual event and but still planning at 6. Does that work with everybody to, hopefully we can knock it out with an hour. I was going to talk about it a little later, but we've sat down with Mary and Deb and went through our process for establishing a baseline for 2022 to 2023 basic budget numbers, and this is where we go in and we tweak them and we add what our wants and needs that we need for next year and see how much we can actually fit into the bucket before it dries up to nothing.
What's the date of the workshop?
The 25th of May.
Well, I can't make it.
That's in 2 weeks.
No, it's in
No,
one.
I'm sorry, next week.
Yeah, and we have to do that so we can then introduce the budget the following week at the Board of Alderpersons meeting on June 1st. So
Well,
we're sort of backed in a corner. Mary, is there a better day next week, or are you out fishing all week?
I'm out of the country.
Okay.
And yeah, I can do it, but it's only if we're doing it virtual.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll plan on virtual. Does 6 work better for you, Bob, versus 7?
Oh, I'm good either way.
Okay. I personally prefer to do 6 on the 25th. That gives us a little more time. We can run it a little longer if we need to, but I'll try to get I promised Mary and Deb I'd get the revised or the refreshed budget over to them yesterday, and I've not had a chance to it, so I will get to that hopefully tomorrow. So Debbie, why don't we plan on once again on the 25th? We'll do a Zoom meeting
Okay.
starting at 6 p.m.
All right.
And
then the last item that I have is Spring Hills Presbyterian Church will do their outreach project again for our city. Bob Schmidt's coordinating with them on what project they're going to work on. If anyone has anything in particular for the park, Bob says the park is in pretty good shape. Rob, do you have any suggestions?
Bob, you said that was June 4th they were offering up?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I thought, Mary, Bob and I talked about it briefly, texting back and forth. I know John does a lot of work down at the park area. Is there any other landscaping work that he wanted to do around the area there? Is there any work we need to do on the pavilion itself? I know we've got the roof on it now.
They painted it last year.
Yeah.
And
I guess I'm keep looking at the mud on the road for right there at the pavilion.
yeah, sort of.
That's
But
an
that's more
ongoing
a
problem.
Bobcat type thing. I don't having them come in and say you got to shovel dirt. That's a little bit.
Okay, I was,
But my thought was, we could. There's so much honeysuckle that needs to be removed, and there I know John works a lot on that. whenever I see them in there, we could do some of that, and it's always present in there. Plus, along Grandpa's Trail there, if you walk it, if you look up, there's so much trash on the hill there. And it's not anything new that people thrown out in the last 6 months. It's just old residual stuff through the years because people, I believe there were houses along there at one point in time, they just sort of threw things out the back door when they're done with them. And, that could be something we could clean up somewhat too.
That would probably be a good idea.
Several years ago, we did a cleanup around the old the mill structure
Mhm.
because there were trees growing out of it. How's that looking these days?
It's just grass in the middle of it now. It's
Yeah.
stayed pretty clean.
Yeah, we've got all the trees out of there, Glenn, so there's nothing
All
goofy
right.
growing out of there. And Bob and Brandon do a good job keeping it weed eated down so it's not a 6 foot tall event when you go in there. But
Okay.
another thing we could look at is moving some more gravel. Get a load of some 1 inch minus or whatever to put on the path to spruce that up a little bit. I know there's areas that could do there, so maybe just a general. Tell them to come down and we'll work. Doing stuff around on Grandpa's Trail, and that could include honeysuckle removal, cleaning up some trash if we needed, and then maybe moving a little bit of gravel onto the path to make that nicer.
I think that would be good, Rob.
Agreed.
I know there's one of the drain lines too, that John had put in some of the 12-inch black corrugated lines, and one of them is just completely plugged up there on the path. Even just sort of digging some of the junk out of the front of it, allow water to flow through it again, will help clean it out. So I think there's plenty we could have them do. Probably
Yeah.
Just figure they're only about 3 to 4 hours mainly.
I know, yeah. So it's not like we're getting a day's worth of labor out of them. So, but even a half day, is much appreciated.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's all I have.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Deb. Mary, do you have anything to add, or you good?
I have something to add. I can add, talk to you under commission reports though,
Okay.
if you would like. I can wait until then.
All righty, we will do that. All right, then moving on to department head reports. Frank, I'll throw it out to you first.
Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
We held our Special Olympics car show on May 7th up at Spring Hill Church, and we raised approximately $2,800 for the Special Olympics in Missouri. So we've increased what we did last year, so I'm pretty happy about that. Captain Mayberry and I attended a radio trading session at Jeffco Dispatch, and we were given a preview of the new portable radios that they're going to be rolling out. We're going to get, I think it's 14 of these portable radios for $7,000 each, and we're getting them for no charge.
Wow.
So, and we get to keep our old radios as spares, so it's a pretty good deal. Captain Mayberry and I participated in a Zoom meeting with our new prospective vendor for our in-car and body cameras. I have another meeting with the same company tomorrow, and I already have grants in line for 2 of these car cameras and 4 body cameras. The grants were for another brand and they went out of business, so I have to pretty much redo all the research on brands and present them. The grants are still active. I just have to do a lot more paperwork on it. I met with the representative from Flock Camera for the proposition that we just talked about. Met with her a couple times last week. And then Captain Mayberry, Debbie, and Mary and I met with an IT company representative regarding the possibility of outsourcing our IT work with the police department. And there's talking to Jamie Gwynn from the ambulance district, and they had a malware attack that cost their, I don't know if it's their district or their insurance company, because they have a type of insurance to cover that. It was over $225,000. Something that we need to kind of consider, in my opinion.
I think what you're referring to there was a ransomware attack where they they infiltrate the file storage that we have with a worm which encrypts it, and you can't access any of your data then.
Right.
And to be able to access it, you have to pay this ransom. So that's fairly prevalent in today's world. So it's certainly worth looking into. And
Right.
And you just don't know when it could occur. And a lot of times these are what they're referred to as, I guess, worms that come in and they don't. I'll use the term hatch till later. So you might get infected and not know it, and it purposely doesn't release till 2 to 3 to 6 months later, and then you've got all your backups and everything that is infected as well. So
Right. Yeah, Debbie or Mary could probably explain a little better than me, but the end of the day, the ambulance district got hit, and they've got some pretty good IT people there that watch their stuff. And if they hadn't had an insurance policy just for that type of a problem, that would have come out of their budget almost, or about $250,000.
Wow.
So anyway, just my thoughts on that.
Yep, it's probably worth looking at.
Okay, and then several of our officers attended the Jefferson County Law Enforcement Memorial Prayer Breakfast last Friday. And then I attended the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Law Enforcement Prayer Breakfast this morning in St. Charles. And both of those prayer breakfasts are honoring police officers during National Police Week who have died in the line of duty. And then Captain Mayberry and I conducted a chief's interview with a job applicant last week, and we've offered a gentleman named Shane Potter, who is an officer now, a job, and he's accepted. And he'll start with us on June 6th. He's doing his firearms training this evening, or his qualification. And then, I'm going to be starting to provide the board again with some crime statistics and things specifically that we're doing. I'm trying to get that rolled out, get the sergeant helping me with this, but just to kind of give you a preview, last night, 2 of our officers stopped a car down at Highway 30 and M and recovered 19 grams of ice or methamphetamine that was packaged for sale and $3,000 in cash. And the county drug unit came in and took that investigation over from them. So that was a pretty impressive arrest.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot of methamphetamine.
Yeah.
You get that off the streets good.
So, okay, I'm done. Thank you.
And Frank, just one thing, I didn't get a chance by missing last meeting to thank you for the Mothers Against Drunk Driving that we went to. That was just unbelievably powerful.
Thank you.
And I wanted to thank you for that personally.
No problem. These guys are doing a great job, and they, it's just they're even away from here, away from work on their own time. You really see the heart and soul of these people that are working here for you all. So.
Yeah, I agree. Glenn, we talked about it last meeting and actually played the video too. But
oh, good.
So it was very, very, very nice, and it was quite a moving event by far.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.
Okay, moving on, Bob.
I have nothing right now. I've discussed everything one way or another so far, so.
All right. So moving on to commission reports then. Mary, I think you mentioned you had something you wanted to share.
I sure do. At the May 9th Planning Board meeting, they discussed the tiny house issue, and we'll be looking at bringing forward to the planning board for discussion a proposed draft to our change to our code, where we'll institute a minimum square footage for single family homes. So they like that idea, and that will prevent anything tiny being constructed within the city of Burns Mill. We also discussed the pod regulations. And again, staff will draft up some regulations and present it to the planning board for them to review and make comment and change as they see necessary. That will basically regulate time, placement, and permitting or not permitting, and also a statement that you cannot live in these storage pods. Also, we discussed the overlay, a proposed overlay district to protect the highway scenic, the scenic view from the highway. So they will create an overlay district specifically related to signs and specific sign regulations for that area. So we'll be drafting up some regulations to bring forward to planning board. And once they have vetted it, we hold public hearings. It will be brought forward to the Board of Aldermen. And then also, just to let you know, Debbie and I are meeting with the auditor tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. To go over the 2021 numbers, Debbie?
2020.
2020 numbers. So we will have a great meeting tomorrow.
Mhm.
And that is, I'm happy to answer any questions. But that is the extent of my report.
So back it up. The audit report is for the 2020 audit.
It is. So we,
Okay.
1 year we skipped. So this past year we did 19, and we're completing 20.
But the
So
report is, was there a discrepancy or is it just a routine?
just routine.
Oh,
Routine.
okay, that's all I wanted.
Yeah, so we have to catch up, and then next year we'll need to put on the budget for 21 and 22 audits, and that will catch us up.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, good. Thank you, Mary. Debbie, are there any other commission reports to discuss?
There are none.
All right, very good. Then we'll move on to mayor's report here. I did want to share something, and Frank, you sent something over to me and wanted to share with the board here. Do you want to briefly talk about this?
So I was walked outside of the station for a minute before the meeting, and I saw a lady and her 2 children over in the grass by City Hall. And they put the sign up for National Police Week just to say thanks. And this lady and her husband and children moved to this area last year from Eastern Kentucky on the West Virginia border. And they were very proactive with their police departments there, and they wanted to continue that here. They actually live in this subdivision, Scarlet Oaks, right down here at the end of our street. That's actually not in our city, but they still come up here and, support us. And, like, how I feel about that. It's not just our city that constitutes my definition of community. And it's just pretty cool. So
That is a cool
yeah.
thing.
Isn't that nice? That's very,
Thank you for sharing that.
Very nice, amazing.
yeah. So be sure to send Ashley a copy of this so we can put it out on the Burnsville website. I think this is
Well, she'll probably see it in the morning when she comes in. So
well, she might, you never know.
Wonderful.
No, that's very nice, Frank, and thank you again for all the effort that you and the officers put into the city and supporting us. And we certainly see it from our perspective as alderpersons, and that always good things to be shared.
all right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. And as mentioned before, talked about budget. We're working on crafting that up. So we'll have a good interactive session next Wednesday to go over any budget ads. So everybody start thinking about that. Have we shared with the rest of the board the different items that the departments would like, Deb? It might be good to have sort of like a wish list, just the conglomeration of what the police, public works, courts, administration want to have.
Okay, I
So
will
they-
share that. I'll get that out tomorrow.
That way it's not anything new that they have to try to digest, and they can look at it beforehand and think about it. And once again, we'll come to the meeting with a sort of a current state where we are. The key is to understanding what revenues we have for 2022 to 2023 and what we can afford to do and what we can't. So the ARPA funding will be a big add for us next year as well. So it'll certainly help fill that gap for us. So we'll hopefully be able to utilize that in a good fashion and have some good good capital, not necessarily capital, but good improvements for all the departments.
Okay.
So that's all I have from mayor's report perspective. Moving on to public forum.
Well, can I just jump in and ask
Yes, you
if
can.
I can make a nomination for the president of the Board of
Well, I
Aldermen?
don't think that was on the agenda till next week.
Well,
Mary's nervous.
Yeah, I didn't motion for that, Mary.
I know, you're purposely avoiding it. Okay, we'll wait.
We'll wait.
Anyway, I nominated Cindy, but they're gonna just, okay.
All right.
I appreciate it, Mary.
Okay, so moving on to public forum. Did we, Ashley, did we get any questions submitted in writing for any questions or comments for the board?
No, I didn't receive anything in writing.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And Elijah Huddleston, I see, I know you've joined via iPhone. Are you just joining to listen along, or did you have anything you wanted to bring up to the board? And if you're talking, you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, I have nothing to add.
Okay. All right, great. Well, thank you for joining though. Appreciate that. All right, moving on to item 15, closed session. I do not believe we have anything we need to discuss during closed. Is that correct, Deb?
I do not.
All right, so moving on to item 16, can I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh, hey, one thing before we adjourn, I did want to mention on the upcoming meetings and events, I saw June 11th, we have the paper shredding event. So is that on the website? And
Yes, it is.
we may want to consider putting something up on our city signs about that and utilize that just to make people aware. Glenn, I know you helped out a lot with the shredding event last year. We did, there was, what was the attendance like? I know you saw me come by with a big bunch of stuff.
Well, we were still, that was the year before, and we were
Year
still
before.
kind of in the throes of COVID, I believe.
Yeah.
It was a medium turnout. I would like to have seen more, and I think if more people know about it, plan
Right.
for it.
And this will still be held up at City Hall. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Because I think logistically that worked really well to be able to drive up and just pull up to the truck and throw your stuff in and then drive on versus maintenance shop. You know, you've got other recycling activity going down there and it's a little bit dusty and that. So I like that, the idea and the way you guys executed. I really appreciated it last year. So
Yeah. So how are they doing? The one charge for the truck and then charge for weight, or is it?
There's no fee to us. Jefferson County
Oh, that's right. that's right.
Recycle is providing this. We have, Ashley did place it on our website quite a while ago. So it's been on the home page, and we can set out another email blast.
yeah, do that. And like I say, if we can put something up on the city signs too, that'll really help.
Okay.
I just paid $6 a box to have shredding done. So that's a heck of a service.
Okay, great.
All righty, great. Very good. Well, then can we move on to a motion for adjourn?
You have the motion, I'll second.
Mary,
Aye.
Glenn,
Yes.
Cindy.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, great. Well, thank you everybody for joining. Have a good evening, and we'll speak next week during our budget review.
Thank you.
See
Thank
everybody
you.
later.
Good night.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.